I'll start with the SOA architecture. Yeah, this is about the BISP. Yeah, for today's demo, I'll start with SOA architecture, how it evolved, and how to make use of this SOA approach and solving real-world problems of connecting between disparate systems and enterprise applications, followed by a detail about Oracle-specific implementation of Oracle SOA architecture and what are the components provided by Oracle SOA suite out of box, followed by a discussion on the use case, and we'll explain you how exactly Oracle SOA is used to provide a solution for this use case. And I'll talk about the course content, and we'll take question and answers at the end. For today's demo, before starting the demo, I'd like to know what are your technical backgrounds, what's your comfort level in XML, or you have any experience with any programming language like Java, C, C++. The prerequisites for this course are a little understanding of XML and working and experience with any programming language will do. Even if you don't have any experience, also not an issue. Before starting the actual content, I will take few sessions on the basics required for this course like XML, XSD, XPath, WSDL, and those sessions will really make you comfortable in learning this technology. Personally, I advise you not to miss those initial sessions on this basics. It will be very helpful. And I would like to highlight a point here. How does this course benefit you? I usually see students coming to this course with an aim to get a job, and some people come here for a job opportunity in the market, and some people take this course as part of their project requirements. Yes, this course content meet all those aspirations, and I'm pretty confident that if you guys follow my training and examples I discuss as part of the course content, you're going to be nothing less than a 2+ years experience guy, so a guy outside in the market. So the course content will be really helpful and will be really technical. And I want to add here is that this is a very good technology from Oracle and Core of Fusion middleware. I personally feel it's interesting to work with Oracle SOA. I have been working on this for more than 5-6 years. And this technology has got good demand in the market and a lot of opportunities outside. So that's it. Yeah, coming back to the demo, first I'll start with a real world problem, and which was the reason why SOA architecture has been evolved. Let's say this is an enterprise application, and this is an organization which is there in the industry for the last 20 years. You can assume Hindustan Unilever Limited, which is a very good in consumer products. So this enterprise application, so what Hindustan Unilever Limited is running, is comprised of 4 different systems: BPEL CRM, SAP system, and mainframe system, and Oracle E-Business. These are the ends. Give me a second. So this is an enterprise application with 4 different end systems, and I tell you, as part of the business, when a customer comes to a sales representative who is sitting on contact center using this BPEL CRM application, sales representative is using contact center which is from BPEL CRM. As for a code, let's say 100 cartons of live by soap he needs. Sales representative creates a code from contact center which is here BPEL CRM, and when the customer was happy with the code he has got from the sales representative, and now he asks for the order. He wants to place the order, and I have my order and billing management system in another SAP system. You can ask, why do you have these many end systems? It could be because of the age-old business they are running and their magnitude of the business, that they cannot simply move all these end systems all of a sudden into a single system. And that's why they have been adding more systems, and they're running the business as it is. And in real life, that's how the enterprises are run in the market. For placing an order, so contact center need to talk to a SAP system, and SAP system may need to talk to mainframe system for getting the customer information. Let's say I have my customer data is present in mainframe system, and I have order and billing management is present in SAP system, and after getting the customer information, this SAP system may need to talk to Oracle E-Business, which is holding the pricing information, I mean the pricing details of the order. So this is the business situation right now they're running in. And the problem with this software model is that how do I make communications between these many end systems which are implemented in different technologies, right? The only solution I can think of at this point of time is to write a new piece of software between BPEL CRM and SAP system, as there is a communication required between these two. And after that, I may have to write a new piece of software between SAP system and maintenance system, as we need to communicate between these two systems. And after that, as I need to talk to Oracle E-Business also for getting the price information, I need to make a communication between these two, and that's why I need to write a new piece of software. So the problem is that how many softwares I'm going to write like this. Though it is difficult, we may write one or two software, but as and when the system grows, the complexity grows, and you will have to write n number of softwares like that. And this is my problem number one. And later on, if I have a requirement to remove or to replace this BPEL CRM system with for some business requirements with another software which is hot in the market, let's say it's a Salesforce Cloud I want to move to, because they are offering very good features in that, and it's easy to use. So that's why I made the decision. I mean, the Kineton Union Limited made the decision to replace the BPEL CRM system with Salesforce system. Okay. The question is, does the software already in place between BPEL CRM and SAP system would work the same way with the new software which is coming in here, that's the Salesforce system and SAP system? No, it's not going to work, because BPEL CRM is different and the SAP is different, and the one newly coming in Salesforce system is also different. So communicating between two different systems will have to will be required to write a new piece of software there. So that's my problem number two. So I have two problems with this use case, and I'm going to derive SOA approach how to solve this problem. So using SOA architecture, this tightly coupled environment, I want to call this environment, the software model, as a tightly coupled system, because all the systems are tightly coupled to each other. So using SOA architecture, this tightly coupled environment can be transformed into a loosely coupled environment. And these are the issues in the current model, tightly coupling of end systems, and if a requirement to replace an end system, it's going to be very difficult. What is the solution proposed by SOA approach? First, expose all your end systems. Let's say I have BPEL, SAP, mainframes, and e-business suite. So I'm going to expose all these end systems as services. What I mean a service is a web service. I'll talk about what is a web service. And after exposing these web services, use a mediating process for orchestration of these services in between end systems. So we'll see how it is going to be. Okay, first before going there, I'll talk about what is a service. As I said, I mean by service is a web service. A web service is a reusable component which has some business functionality implemented in it. A service provider is the one who is providing the service, and service consumer is the one who is consuming the service. The point to understand here is that the consumer of the service here is the one who is not expected to know anything about the provider. I mean anything about the providing service, what technology it is implemented in. All we want to know is what is the format, the input XML format the provider is expecting. So if I know what is the format of the XML that provider is expecting, simply as a consumer, I place a request with the input XML, and the provider takes a process takes an input request and process input request. I mean whatever the business functionality implemented in that providing service, and returns a response if there is any response expected by the consumer. So as simple as that. Someone is exposing, and the consumer is just using the service without knowing what exactly the service provider is. So I'm moving to the solution. So after adopting the SOA, so this is the solution provided by SOA approach. First, what I said is I'm exposing all the end systems, the legacy systems as web services here. So this arrow marks you can think of as a web service exposed from the end system, right? And have a mediating or orchestration process in between the end systems. I mean, in that between the end system services exposed, right? For integrating the end system services. So this is the solution proposed. And the job of this mediating process is that it takes the request from the legacy system one, let's say SOA CRM, and transforms the data format this end system 2 SAP system is expecting, and sends the request to SAP system. And after that, it collects the response from the same legacy system, SAP system here, and collects the response. This is the response coming in from the SAP system, and transform the data again back to the format the BPEL CRM is expecting. So this is how it is replying with the conversion of the data format the BPEL CRM is expecting. So this is the mediating process or orchestration process, which is doing the job of mediating between end systems, right? This is end system 1. The same way, all these end systems are exposed as services. You can think of all these arrow marks as a services exposed from the end systems, and this mediating process does the job of communicating between these end systems. I mean, communicating between the end system exposed web services here. So with this, how is the problem solved? The problem of communicating between different legacy systems is solved by exposing the end system as web services. That is solution number 1 we talked about, and using this intermediate process, that is the red one here we see, for integrating the services. It solves the problem of replacing any of these end systems. How does it does? So all we want is a functionality exposed as a services. Doesn't matter what is the end system. So let's say if you replace SAP or any of these end systems, the exposed service is not going to affect much. So as long as the service is not exposed, this intermediate process is not affected, and hence the communication between BPEL CRM and this mediating process does not get affected. So what we want is exposing the functionality as a service, and doesn't matter what the end system is at and what change the end system has gone. So with this solution, we have solved the problem of replacing any of the end systems. So using the SOA approach, we have got the solution for the real world problem we have discussed. And coming to the definition of SOA. SOA is an architecture based on reusability and composed of well-defined services implemented by IT components. And these components are loosely coupled in the sense, if we replace any of these end systems, doesn't get affected. I mean, the other systems will not get affected much because of the loosely coupling of the environment, and because of the intermediate process you have in between, which does the job of communicating. I mean, it does the job of integrating the end systems. So in simple terms, I say SOA is not a technology; it's an approach for solving the business problems in enterprise applications. So now I'll move on to what is the Oracle specific implementation of SOA architecture. So far we have discussed only the SOA architecture, I mean what the SOA is and what the definition of that. So now we are going to see what exactly we are going to learn in this course. That is Oracle SOA, and these are all the components provided by Oracle SOA suite. I am going to discuss all these components in detail in the course content, and for the demo session I'll just give one-line description of all these components provided by Oracle SOA suite to cut short the demo. So I'm starting with service infrastructure. Service infrastructure is an environment where you design, deploy, and test your SOA composites. And all these components we are seeing here have their own runtime engines. Let's say Mediator has its own engine, and BPEL has its own engine, BPEL rules has its own engine. So all these engines are part of this service infrastructure. So this you can think of service infrastructure. It's an environment where all these runtime engines are placed. And coming to Oracle Mediator, is a routing engine. It used to conditionally route the business flow to end system services. I mean, if I am giving the definition of these components, you may not be understanding what exactly it is that. After that, I'll give a use case, and with which you will understand some of the Oracle SOA suite. I mean, how we are going to use Oracle SOA suite. So once we move to course content, you will understand as we are discussing and practicing examples for all these components. Yeah, Oracle Mediator is a technology, is a routing engine. I mean to say it's a routing engine used to conditionally route the business flow to end systems. And we have Oracle Mediator, Oracle Adapter. It's a technology adapter provided by Oracle for exposing the legacy systems and operations. As I said in the previous example, I said to expose the end systems as services, right? So this Oracle adapter does the job of exposing the end systems as services. And we will work on the all possible types of adapters like JMS, DB adapter, file adapter, FTP adapter, and Oracle examples. And we will have examples for all those adapters. And Oracle metadata repository, it's a repository where the deployed SOA components, composites, and XML documents are placed as part of the deployment process. I mean, you can say this is a repository. When I say it's a repository, it's again a database which is holding the data, which is the holding data metadata of the Oracle SOA composites and XML documents. And we are going to work with that. Business rules. It's again a component from Oracle SOA suite, which provides the business users like manager or supervisor an opportunity to make some business decisions and apply them into the business environment with the immediate effect. So when you change a business rule and you deploy the environment and immediately it will be taken into consideration for the business environment. And another important component we'll discuss is Oracle BPEL component. So it's again a component and which is used for orchestration of business processes that integrates a series of services, discrete services, to complete the end-to-end business flow. Another important component we are going to discuss is human workflow. It's an approval flow engine where we can invoke human intervention like manager or anyone who is there in the upper management system, who can make some business decisions like approving a code, approving an order within the business flow itself. Now we are moving into two other components I want to discuss here is Oracle Developer, and this is the IDE, the environment where we design the SOA composites, and from there itself we can deploy the SOA composites to Oracle WebLogic Server. So you know Oracle is mostly using WebLogic Server for this SOA environments. And here is one more component, Oracle Enterprise Manager. So that's a OEM console where you test your SOA composite, where you can monitor your SOA composites and you can see the logging and you can see runtime data, and also you can see the fault information. If there are any errors in the system, I mean if there are any errors communicating between these systems, so that SOA composite will show you what are the errors thrown. So that's a testing environment. So I'm moving to an industry example. So this is just a use case. It's again a problem in the real world, and we will understand the problem and we will find out how many are the end systems, and we'll provide the SOA solution for that using Oracle SOA suite. So with which you will understand, you will get to know something about Oracle SOA suite in the demonstration itself. So the objective of the example is that this is a given use case, and we'll try to identify how many are the end systems and design a SOA composite application for connecting these end systems using Oracle SOA suite. Okay. So first of all, we'll go through the use case and identify how many are the end systems. And next, next what we do is we will expose the end systems as web services as part of the SOA approach. And next, we'll create a mediating process which can integrate these end systems, and which is going to complete the business flow end to end, right? So this use case is about opening a bank account in a public sector bank. So you can think of it. So what happens? The bank officer looks at the application filed by the user and first checks the identity of the user. So before opening the account, and if the user not an already existing customer in the system, a new account number has to be generated. And so that may be an end system again. And after creating the account number, we are supposed to create the debit card number for that user, and the debit card number will be linked to the savings account number, So once the debit card is generated, a secret pin also to be generated. So this is a simple use case, a banking application, and now we are going to identify how many other end systems we have in this example. First one is a application web interface where the bank officer is entering the user details. So that may be implemented in Java, .NET or anything. So that's an end system one. That's a web interface where the bank officer is entering the user details, right? Let's one database present in Oracle database. So after entering the details in the web application, so the application is supposed to check the identity of the user. So as the data is present in Oracle database, so that's again going to be an end system. So we can say it's an end system too. And apart from that, we have two more end systems. One is account generation system, let's mainframe system, and we have one more end system, that is debit card generation system. So for creating the debit card and for generating the secret pin. So total we have 4 end systems. Now we are going to see the solution for connecting these 4 end systems using Oracle SOA suite. So this is the first end systems, account creation web interface, where the bank officer is entering the user details and submitting the form to identify, validate the identity of the user. So where does we have the database of this users? So it is there in Oracle database. So this is the end system 2. So now the question is, so are we going to make a direct call from this web interface to Oracle database? Yes, you can make a direct call using JDBC API or any other means. But as per SOA approach, we are not going to do a tightly coupling of systems. What we are going to do is, first we are going to expose this Oracle database as a service. I mean, it's a web service, right? And this is the service exposed from Oracle database. Now again, this account creation web interface is going to make a call to this web service again. Yes, you can make a direct call, but as per the SOA approach, the second solution we proposed was use a meeting process in between these end systems and in between end systems. So which does the job of integrating these end systems, right? So this account creation process is newly created, which is used to integrate the end systems. So how does this web interface will call this account creation process? So the solution is same. This account creation process itself is exposed as a web service, and again the account creation web interface will make a call to this web service, right? So this so now we have got the call. Now we have got the request from the web interface to the account creation process. So now the account creation process is responsible for talking to this web service, and will identify the user is already an existing customer or not. So, and a point to note here is that, so the account creation process is going to make a call to the exposed DB web service, and a conflict of, I mean, there may be a problem such that what is the data format given by this web interface, and what is the data format expecting by this web service, or both may be different. So for that reason, so you may have to use the transformation in between the data model between the account creation process and the data model expected by this DB web service. So this is this is the XSLT transformation we have in between. And after that, let's assume that the customer is not already an existing customer. So what we are going to do, we are going to generate a new account, as we already assumed. So yeah, sorry, and after, so this is a return call from the exposed web service, which is going to give you the status of the user, whether he is an already existing customer or not. So after getting the reply, the account creation process will understand that the user is not an already existing customer. So we are going to make a call to account generation system, so which is again a end system here. Let's assume it's a mainframe system, and we want to make a call to this account generation system and create the account number. Let's say savings bank account number. Yeah, we follow the same approach. We follow the same approach of exposing this end system as a web service and do the transformation in between this account creation process. I mean, transformation of the data from here and data expected by this service, right? So we do the transformation and we make the call to generate the account generation, to generate a savings bank account number, and we get the reply from the same system with the generated account number. So after that, and we need to make a call to a third system, sorry, a fourth system, a card generation system. So where we generate the debit card number. So again, it's an N system. Let's assume another age-old system, let's say, and this is again exposed as a web service, right? And we do the transformation as per the SOA solution. But in the data model we are getting here, and the data model it is expecting, and we get the reply with the card number and the pin automatically generated. And after that, the account creation process is responsible for returning the account number and the debit card number and the PIN number to the web interface. And after that, web interface is responsible for dispatching the card and all those processes. So this is a SOA solution proposed using Oracle SOA suite. Now, what I want to do is I want to map. I have used some of the components here. This is a component, this is a component, and I have used some of the activities here. So if I want to map, what is this going to be SOA suite? And this is going to be BPEL component. As I said, this BPEL component is an engine for doing this mediating and also the orchestration engine. So which is responsible for integrating the end systems, right? Which completes a business process end to end. So this is the business process started here and completed after integrating all the systems and returns the response. So this is going to be BPEL component, and we are going to mostly work on this BPEL component. We'll work on all the activities in this BPEL component. I mean, BPEL itself is a language. It's similar to any programming language, which does have an activity, which has transformations, which has a conditional flows like if else, and also it has exception handling mechanisms, as you see in any programming language. Let's say if you take Java, you have catch blocks where you catch the exceptions, right? The same way the BPEL also has this catching mechanism. I mean, catching the exception mechanism going to work on all the activities in the BPEL, and we are going to the end systems using BPEL component. Okay, now, and what are these transformations? So these are going to be XSLT transformations, and they are again activities used in BPEL component. And what are these components here? So they are called technology adapters. The technology adapters proposed by, provided by Oracle SOA suite for exposing the end systems, right? So if you have a lot of end systems, so are you going to for exposing the end system to the service? No. Oracle has adapters for exposing already existing end systems as services. So this is going to be a DB adapter, and whatever the adapter, if it is a mainframe and it has its own adapter mainframe, and if it is a third-party end system, that third-party end system also has an adapter provided by Oracle SOA. So we are going to work on adapters like file, FTP, DB, GMS, and apps adapter. And so assembly of, clubbing all these components and activities and this complete environment is called a composite application. Oracle SOA composite application. And this is the core of the Oracle SOA suite. You design, you develop, and you test all these components in Oracle JDeveloper, and will deploy from the JDeveloper itself. So that is a design team IDE we use for developing SOA applications. So we deploy to WebLogic server, and we use Oracle Enterprise Manager OEM console for debugging these composite applications. So that's a use case, and this is a solution proposed using Oracle SOA. And this is another screenshot I've found in web, so which will give you an understanding how does an enterprise application look before adapting SOA and after adapting SOA. Okay, so let's say these are the 3 different enterprise applications, and there are many end systems we have. So if I want to make a call from this enterprise application to any of these end systems, so it will be a straightforward call. New software, to say. So that way, all these enterprise applications have written their own piece of software for getting to this end systems. So how exactly is this? So after adopting SOA, what happened? So all these end systems first expose the services. So this is a business functionality implemented in a service, like create invoice, check the customer status, and check order status like this. All the systems are exposed clearly in a cleanly manner as services. Now, so how does the integration happen? So this integration is provided by SOA composite applications. So all of them are going to be independent SOA composite application. So the integration happens, but in this integration is provided by this SOA composite application. So which directly makes a call to services. So in the sense, that's where we stop. We don't go to the end system here. Come up to the expose service, and we get the reply from the service, and we return back to the caller of us. So that's how it's cleanly provided solution by using Oracle SOA. And this is a course content I'm going to discuss in this Oracle SOA 11G course. So first I said I'm going to discuss the basic concepts required for this course, so which will make you really comfortable in learning this technology. Expert results. So along with the theory session, I'll have parallel practicals also. So using JDeveloper, so you'll see how do we generate an XPath, how do we create XSD, and how do we create visual files. And I'll talk about the architecture of Oracle SOA suite. I mean, what are the standards used by Oracle SOA in specific, and an introduction to SC architecture, and I'll talk about MDS repository, upload your XML documents MDS repository. And again, we have a dehydration step, which is again a login mechanism. So I'll discuss about that also. And I'll have a session on SC architecture in detail. I'll first show you a sample Hello World composite application using JDeveloper, and I'll explain you what is the abstract visual and concrete visual. I mean, these are more technical stuff here. And how do we model OEM console? And this is a core component of Oracle SOA BPEL. So first I'll discuss the language structure, what are the activities in that, and these are the here, partner links, process. These are all the activities we have in a BPEL process. So we are going to have theory and as well as practical sessions on this and all these activities. We will work on request reply activities, and their important point is async and async BPEL process. So that's going to be very important. And we are going to work on the fault handling mechanisms. I mean, how do you catch exceptions in a BPEL process, and what are the fault policies which can be set in the server, and correlation, compensation, and quick activity. And apart from that, we are going to discuss the JC adapter, well, JC architecture. I mean, what are the adapters provided by Oracle SOA suite? So DB adapter, and which is mostly used, and JMS adapter, and file, FTP, apps, like this, so many adapters. So we are going to have sessions on all these adapters. And again, we will work on the another important component from Oracle SOA, that's a mediator component, which does a mediating job. And again, we'll work on human workflow, that's again a component. So that's an approval engine. And after that, we'll work on EBN, how to generate events and how to consume the events. And we'll work on sensors. And again, another important component, that's a business rules. So which is very much useful in industry. How do you generate, how do you create business rules, and how do you modify them in the runtime environment and deploy them immediately? And after that, Oracle OSB,